Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I am Shanti and I thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, I will be giving a breakdown of Inmate to Roommate featuring Analisa, Vada, and Mark, and this is episode 7. Now, in the previous episode, Mark, Analisa, and Vada were in the backyard just kind of having a talk, and they were talking about Mark's interview skills and his background as far as education and what he knows about, entering to the workforce. And everything seemed kind of positive. Vada had took Mark down to the Urban League, and Mark spoke with someone that will be able to help him adjust to society and learn the skills that he needs to thrive as a young adult. And it seemed like Mark was excited about that. And he thanked Vada for taking him to the Urban League. And it just kind of seemed like it was an overall positive time for Analisa, Vada, and Mark. But things quickly went downhill. So let's jump into episode 7. Mark has been out of prison for 23 days now. Analisa said they have not heard from or seen Mark in 2 days. She said maybe she should go look him up and see if he's back in jail. Vada says that Analisa needs to be a little bit more patient. She told producers that she was proud that he went to the Urban League with Vada, but then he went back to being disrespectful. She said that he has taken them for granted. Vada said they need to have another talk with Mark, and Analisa's like, well, how are they going to do that when Mark is not even answering his phone?
I think we need to talk to Mark.
Then how are you going to be able to talk to him when he's not answering the phone? That's the point.
She said that she is ready to call his probation officer and get him involved. Yeah, she must be really pissed off to get the probation officer involved because the PO can put him right back in jail. But I don't blame her one bit. Vada said he is against calling Mark's probation officer because it can violate him and put him back in jail. Analisa told producers that she doesn't know where Mark is staying, but Mark's address is supposed to be at their house. She said Mark's PO told them that if they show up and ask about Mark's whereabouts, they have to be truthful. If they find out Mark has not been staying there, he could go back to prison. During the conversation, Analisa told Vada that she is not against calling Mark's PO, and maybe he does need to go back to prison because it might save his life. Vada told producers that Mark is making it hard for him to root for him and come to his defense because he's making all the wrong choices, and it's causing Analisa to want to put him out. Analisa looks visibly annoyed, and she's asking Vada, why are you advocating so hard for Mark? And he said it's because he doesn't want to see a young black man go to prison when he can get some help. Vada said to a producer that he feels like Mark can do good, but somewhere in his brain, he still wants to be on the streets. And being on the streets is addicting, is an addictive thing, and it's real. And he said he thinks that Mark is addicted to the streets. He and Analisa agreed to give Mark one more chance. And if he messes up again, it's a wrap. So Mark finally shows up at the house, knocking on the door, and Vada lets him in. And Vada says, "What you doing? Haven't seen you in a couple of days." And Mark's just kind of like, yeah, as he just walks on by, heading up to his room without any explanation for why he's been missing in action for 2 or 3 days. Analisa is angry, and she follows behind Mark, asking him where has he been. And instead of Mark just saying, just acting like a grown man and giving her any answer, he decided to tell her to get away from his room. And why is she asking him where he's been?
So where you been, Mark?
You get away from my room. What are you talking about? Where have I been? Where have you been?
I've been right here.
Okay, cool. I've been.
Oh, you ain't closing no door. This is my house.
He's just being rude, just disrespectful for no reason. This is not even called for. He tried to shut the door in her face, and Analisa said, "No, you need to come out here so we can talk." I hate that her and Vada are going through this. They seem like nice people. They seem like good people who only wanted to help a young black man out. And this is how Mark is repaying them. I wonder how Mark feels when he watches himself behave like this as a grown man on national TV. Also, I'm still wondering, why can't he go stay with whoever he's hanging out with or wherever he is for those days at a time? Why can't he just go live there? Analisa said that Mark owes them an explanation for where he's been these past few days because he is supposed to sleep there and he just doesn't care. Vada said Mark came back to the house and came up in there like he was paying bills. Analisa told Mark that he is going to have to figure out what he is going to do because she is at the point where she is ready to let him go. And Mark said, for what? Like, acting like he doesn't, like he seems like he is thoroughly confused about why Analisa is so mad at him right now. He seems like he has no understanding about like, why are they tripping? It's like, what do you mean? Like, he is so stressful. But she said that he has to go because he is not following the rules, and she reminded him that he is supposed to be sleeping there at night. Mark said, says who? And she says, per your parole officer. Mark said, why are you bringing up the parole officer? What does he have to do with anything?
Because you're not following the rules. You're supposed to be here, sleeping here at night.
Who said that?
Your parole officer.
Oh my God.
So
Bringing the parole officer?
yeah, because you live here.
Mark, he has everything to do with it. That's your parole officer. He can violate you and send your ass right back to prison. She told Vada that he needs to go ahead and handle this. You know, Mark is just being so disrespectful. So Mark is going off talking about, don't worry about what he's doing, don't worry about where he's been, blah, blah, blah. And then Vada finally stood up and he proceeds to tell Mark that there are rules that they all need to follow. He said, you know, you have rules, I have rules, etc. And based on what your probation officer said, if they don't tell him the truth, they can be liable too. They can be held liable for Mark's actions as well. The producers asked Mark where was he for the past 3 days, and Mark said he was out enjoying what life has to offer. Mark kind of questioned Analisa and Vada about why they are so worried about his PO, what his PO is talking about. And he was like, so y'all really worried about what my parole officer is talking about? And Vada was like, hell yeah, nigga, that's the police. I don't know if he called him that. They bleeped out whatever he said, but I bet that's what he said. Vada told him that he didn't want him going back to jail and he doesn't want to have to call his parole officer.
That works. You guys worry about what my PO is talking about. You feel me?
Yeah, that's the police. I don't want you going back to jail.
They all started talking back and forth, and Mark's being loud and disrespectful, over talking, not trying to hear what they're saying, not trying to articulate himself correctly. Not even asking them to forgive him for staying out for 2 days or 3 days without calling or anything. You know, not asking for forgiveness for breaking the rules or making them worry about him or anything like that. He takes no responsibility. Analisa threatens him that she will call the PO, and Mark was like, oh yeah, I bet you will.
You ain't gonna call, but I will.
Okay, but I bet you will.
And he told producers that since they like to call POs, he's going to call his PO too. And say what? What are you going to say, Mark? Mark and Vada get into a little heated discussion or a little back and forth. And Mark is telling Vada that he is a grown man and they don't need to be worried about him and about what he's doing or his whereabouts. And then Mark said like the dumbest thing ever to me. It's like just reminded me that he is just a big ass kid. He's like a child in a man's body. Like Analisa said earlier. But he said to Vada, he said, if you were ever gone for 2 days, I wouldn't question you about where you've been.
I don't worry about what you're doing. You're a grown man. I'm a grown man. You're not gone 2 days. I've been gone 2 days. If you ever gone 2 days, I'm not going to say, hey, man, where you been out 2 days?
And it's like, you know, that was so silly for him to say that because you have no right to question Vada in his own home about his whereabouts. You are the guest in that man's home. But anyway, Vada told him, like, he said, we're not in the same situation. And Mark keeps on talking and telling Vada not to worry about him and all that stuff. And it's like Vada is practically pleading with Mark, like, please understand where I'm coming from. I care for you. I'm concerned. I'm worried. You know, he's just kind of going on and on. And, you know, he ended up telling Mark, he said that you, Mark, you brought us into your life. So we are worried about you.
I am worried about it. I'm worried about you. I am. You brought us into your life, so I am worried about you.
Like, oh my gosh. The producers asked Analisa and Vada how many chances are they willing to give Mark. And that's what I'm wondering too, because Mark should have been out of there. There's no hope for him, it seems like. And Analisa says she's willing to give him 0 more chances. And Vada is willing to give Mark another chance, of course. He has such a soft spot for Mark. Analisa told Mark that if his parole officer comes over and asks him about where Mark is, she would tell them the truth. And Mark said, all right, bet. And Analisa said, bet.
I'm telling them no.
All right.
I'm just letting you know that's up to you.
All right, bet.
And then she said, you even got my dog stressed out. The dog has been running around barking the whole time, probably picking up on Mark's negative energy. And he just kind of, you know, he's going crazy too. Shoot.
You got my little dog stressed out.
He wants Mark up out of there as well. But Mark actually said to Analisa, he said that dog be everywhere anyway, pissing all over the place. Just no respect at all. This is how he's talking to the people that is letting him live in their home for free. They're taking a chance on this former prisoner who did like almost 8 years. They're taking a chance on him and allowing him into their home. And this is how he repays them. But you can tell Analisa is stressed out. I'm stressed out just watching this. And, you know, it's sad. I think it's sad, really. But now I can kind of see why Mark's own family didn't want to take him in. I know he's got family somewhere. They didn't want no parts of that. But Analisa then goes on to say, like, I don't even know why I'm arguing with you. And I need to shut up. And Mark is like, yeah, please shut up. You know, zip it.
I'm sitting up here even arguing with you. I don't even care.
I'm gonna talk to him.
I know. I need to shut up. I do need to shut up.
He's got some nerve, you guys. Some nerve. But anyway, Vada said that he would go talk to Mark once again. And I understand that Vada wants to help Mark, but I can't understand why he isn't protecting his wife, because Mark is clearly causing her a lot of stress. You know, he's talking to her any kind of way. He's not obeying the rules and just being mad, disrespectful. But Vada proceeds to go talk to Mark as Mark is walking away. And Mark is like, no, I'm good. And he heads back into his room. The producers ask Vada if he thinks that he is putting Mark before Analisa. And Vada says, no, I'm not. And Analisa's like, yes, you are. And then Vada goes on to say, he said, I'm used to dealing with situations like this. He said he's used to dealing with young men like Mark who are disrespectful. He said that you can cuss me out all day long, and I'm not going to take it personal. Analisa is the one that's taking it personal. I mean, I take it personal too. You're not going to disrespect me in my own house. You don't even pay rent. You don't buy no toiletries for the house. You ain't paying rent. You're not even cleaning up. You're not doing anything. You're not going to disrespect me in my house. And I am taking it personal. So I get where Annalisa's coming from. But everybody can show a little bit of respect. I don't know. I don't care what your background is. You can be respectful to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Especially people who are willing to help you out. But anyway, that was Vada's response to if he's putting Mark ahead of his wife or not, that he can handle disrespect and he's used to dealing with situations like that. But Vada, just because you don't mind the disrespect, that doesn't mean that you should let someone else disrespect your wife like that. But anyway, He told Analisa that he is going to have faith in Mark, just like he has faith in God. Analisa told him that she'll just be praying for him, and Vada said, "Thank you. That's all I asked for." Now, in the scenes for the upcoming episode, we can see that Mark is testing out some kind of ladder that he hung from his bedroom window, talking about, yeah, this will work. And he has plans on sneaking some girl into that house tonight. Then you see Analisa running through the house, banging on his door. I'm not sure whether it's his bedroom door or if it's a bathroom door, but she's banging on the door. And then when she busts in there, there's a bit of a struggle, and you hear her saying, "Oh, hell no." And it kind of looks like she's dragging somebody out of that room. So next week look like it's going to be explosive. It's like a roller coaster with them. But yeah, what did you guys think about this episode? Doesn't Mark have a lot of audacity to act so ungrateful and so rude? And it's like he's doing this for no reason. Not once have I seen Vada and Analisa be disrespectful towards him. And I don't think they deserve this kind of treatment. You can tell they're nice people, they're loving people, they're godly people. And he's taking them through all this stress. They look so stressed in the episodes. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. And please give me a like and subscribe if you want, or at least come back and check me out. I'm dropping new content weekly. And until next time, I will chat with you guys later.